Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living. And I see Mitch Austin, our speaker today. I see his lovely note in the chat that says, "God morning, everyone. So blessed to be with you this morning." Oh, and Steph also. As you know, we'll be keeping the chat silent during the service itself. And by silent, I mean don't post until we get to the prayer part where you're welcome to post prayers. We are glad you're here. This service is recorded as it always is because we have a lot of people watching on social media. And so if you're more comfortable, you're welcome to turn off your video or to change your username and join us and enjoy. For those of you who are watching on social media, we welcome you. We are glad you're here. Thank you. And now it's time to unmute and greet each other. Hello, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, strangers.
Corey, you're muted. Oh, there we go.
Hi,
Good morning, everyone.
Honey,
I always
careful,
want to do
everyone.
romper room, right? Hello, Steph. Hello, Ruth. I see Mitch. I see Margie, you know, all that stuff. Namaste, everyone. And now to mute yourselves again, please. And now for our invocation. In this moment, and in every moment, there is one presence, one power, and one wholeness, one goodness that is all that is. This goodness is the infinite power and presence of the universe. This goodness is what I am and what each and every one of us here is. This goodness is the power that creates and supports our outreach committee that is collecting for the Children's Receiving Home of Sacramento. This goodness is what supports and creates this talk today. All of the music, all of the board members and their decisions, everything is powered by love. Every congregant, everyone who is watching. This pure movement of good happens in this service today. And I know for Mitch Austin, our speaker, that he is supported, blessed, and guided in all of his words, that everything comes forth with power, and our hearts and hands and minds are willing and open recipients, ready to hear that which is ours to hear, ready to do that which is ours to do. This is the truth now, and so it is. And now for our readings. Spirituality is natural goodness. God is not a person. God is a presence personified in us. Spirituality is not a thing. It is the atmosphere of God's presence, goodness, truth, and beauty. Ernest Holmes. The best kind of people are the ones that come into your life and make you see the sun where you once saw clouds. The people that believe in you so much, you start to believe in you too. The people that love you simply for being you. The once in a lifetime kind of people. Please enjoy our chant and spiritual inspiration. And after that, I will introduce our speaker, Mitch Austin.
Spirit is alive.
Spirit, you are my life. I breathe because of you. I think and feel and love because of you. Today, right here, right now, I deepen my commitment to you. I deepen my awareness of your love. I open to being changed, to being made new by your love, by your life in me, as me. I relax into the beauty of this opening. I am grateful for the beauty of this opening to you. I am alive in spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you.
We are so pleased and blessed to have Mitch join us again here at Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living. Not only as a science of mind practitioner, but also a recent designee as a master storyteller for public speakers, coaches, and influencers through the Master Storytellers Academy. Mitch is always inspiring and a joy to have with us at SCSL. Mitch is on his ministerial path, completing his ministerial studies, and we are delighted to have you here with us today, Mitch. Welcome. If there's anything you want to add to that intro, please do.
No, I think it's perfect. Thank you so much, Reverend Debbie. So excited to be here with you this morning. And I'm so grateful for Reverend Sharon Dunn for inviting me. You know, it's kind of like when you invite a speaker, you're inviting them into your family, you know, your home, you're trusting them, right? And I always appreciate the invitation to be with you so much. So thank you. Let's see. What do I want to start off with today? You know, when I was watching that video, the guy in the hammock, that was me. Anybody? I thought, ooh, I would love to be there right now. So why don't we just drop into our heart space for a moment as we prepare to receive the message. As we breathe in, I invite you, as this message unfolds, to see with the eye behind the eye, to hear with the ear behind the ear, and to feel with the heart behind the heart. As I know that this message is divinely appointed and falls upon each and every person hearing it, being fed the spiritual food that is meant for them. Blessed be. So have you ever been in a moment of need where somebody out of the blue helped you? Maybe your car battery died and somebody came up and said, hey, can I give you a jump? Or maybe you got locked out of your house. Anybody? And somebody showed up to help you? Yeah. Kind of made you feel good, didn't it? Gave you some sense of support in the universe, and that there's a goodness in people that can show up for us, and that we can be that goodness. And I want to share a little TikTok video with you. Yes, TikTok has made your service. We get our spiritual food from wherever it shows up, and it's a beautiful story told by a man. His name is Neil Ford. And he's a mature man. He's probably in his 50s, and he remembers this story with such vividness from his childhood. And we'll go ahead and let the video roll now.
People think we're more divided as a country now than we've been in a long time. I know it can seem that way, but when I was a little kid in 1969, the Vietnam War was tearing the country apart. And they'd shot John F. Kennedy, and they'd shot Bobby Kennedy, they'd shot Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. And there was the Manson family and the Zodiac killer, and it just felt like the whole country lost its mind. My father, who'd grown up in the Depression, well, his faith in humanity was just at a low ebb. And the two of us that June were driving from LA to Oakland in an old 1960 Oldsmobile, and the water pump blew out south of Bakersfield. And so this was long before cell phones, so we were going to have to hoof it like 9 or 10 miles into town when this young cowboy pulls up in a flatbed and offers to tow us in. And all my dad had on him for money was this old Chevron gas card, so he kept telling this young fellow, I can't pay you. And the young cowboy's looking at him like, yeah, I wasn't going to charge you. So he rolls us into town, and this is a Sunday, so nothing's open. So he has to go get his mechanic friend to open up his garage, and my dad says, hey, listen, I don't have any money. And the mechanic says, we'll work something out. And then they all realize they don't have the actual part, so now they got to go roust out the local auto parts store owner, and they bring him down. And my father's like, okay, we need to talk about how this is all going to get settled, because he just couldn't imagine anybody being this trusting about the money. So the cowboy says, look at it and make you feel better. I got a bunch of watermelons I need to get loaded onto my flatbed, and it's pretty hot work, and if you help me out, I'll pay for the part. So next thing you know, we're all unloading watermelons from inside a rail car. That's about 140 degrees. And 90 minutes later, we are soaked in sweat. And up rolls the car, just run like a top. And my dad says, I really don't know how to thank you, fellas, and for this good turn. And we're turning to go, and the mechanic gets this look on his face and says, whoa, where do you think you're going? And you could see on my father's face just all the fear and distrust come to the surface. And he's stiffened like a leopard. And the mechanic says, no. My wife's going to make us all Sunday dinner, and you and the boy can get a shower and a clean shirt, and it'll make the drive easier for all of us. So we sat down for a dinner of fried chicken from the chicken right over there, and corn on the cob from the corn right over there. And man, I got to tell you, we'll never have a meal that good ever again. And my dad didn't say maybe 3 words the whole drive, but when we got home, I got into bed, and I was just about to turn off a light, and he stops in the doorway, and he says to me, no matter what you see in the movies or on TV or you read in the papers, you listen to me. That's how people really are. And about a month later, Neil Armstrong walked on the moon. So, keep the faith.
Keep the faith. Keep the faith. That's how people really are. When I saw this story, it just grabbed me. And I thought, why did it grab me? What was it about this story? And what it was ordinary people. The cowboy, the shopkeeper, the mechanic, showing up in extraordinary ways and activating a dormant faith in the Father. These days we have so much in our news that is dividing us. The narrative, constantly divisive, constantly negative, putting us on edge, trying to divide the oneness that cannot be divided. And when we go against our spiritual nature, that's when we feel the pain. It was during the election, it was the Trumpers, the Republicans and the Democrats against each other. And then when we had Black Lives Matter, it was who was putting on those marches, the Antifa people or whatever name they were given, and then the people who weren't marching. And now it's who's got the vaccine and who doesn't have the vaccine, prompting us to look at people with suspicion and forgetting the goodness that is in people. As I was listening to the story, I thought, the cowboy, the mechanic, the shopkeeper, they were faith activators. That just kind of came up into my mind. And then all of a sudden, the title to my talk just download it. Now, one of the hardest things about my talk isn't putting the talk together, it's coming up with the title. And I felt like the clouds parted, Jacob's ladder came down, and angels were singing, because there was my talk title. Now hiring faith activation workers, inquire within. And that's what we're going to do today. You know, my day job is an HR director. And I thought, this is great. I'm going to create a job description for faith activation workers, because I think the universe is hiring. Yes? Anyone believe that? Yes, absolutely. So you might be thinking, well, what is a faith activation worker? Well, here's what I came up with. A faith activation worker is someone who inspires the belief in good that exists within all people and acts in accordance with that belief by doing good. You know, and this wouldn't be a job description without qualifications. There are qualifications. And the primary qualification is the capacity to give unconditional love, support, and kindness to people you do not know. And the key word here is capacity. See, sometimes as spiritual people and with our big hearts, sometimes we give away things we shouldn't be giving away, right? Parts of ourselves, giving away the rent money, or things we shouldn't be giving away. So we need to make sure that we're giving within our capacity and filling up our cup so full that we can give from the overflow and show up powerfully to inspire goodness, kindness, and faith in others. You know, Maya Angelou put it this way with the African proverb, beware of a naked man giving you a shirt. So there are some duties, you know, a few duties. I came up with 3. So the first duty is to restore faith in the goodness of people by example. See, people aren't impressed by our words. They're impressed by our example. I heard the phrase once when I was starting out doing spiritual counseling from a very wise coach. And he said, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. See, this is where we need to lead with our love, our kindness, our caring, our connection. The second duty is to inspire hope that things will get better through your actions. Through your action. You ever hear actions speak louder than words? Yes? Whose love language is acts of service? Anybody? Yeah, me right here. Yeah. It's nice that you told me you love me. Now buy me dinner, or you know, do laundry or do something. Help me. That's the lens I look through. So that's duty number 2. And duty number 3, and I think this is the most important duty. Commit lavish acts of unconditional kindness. You know, this video, it got 2 million views, 2 million views. And I'm convinced it would not have gotten 2 million views if it wasn't for that last part of the story. You know, the part of the story where he turns to go in the car and the mechanic goes, whoa, 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 where are you going? And the father's fear and everything comes up because he still had his shield over his heart. He still had his armor on. And the mechanic went, whoa, 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 no, not that. I just want to feed you and, you know, let you guys get a shower. And he was committing a lavish act of kindness above and beyond what this man could even think of. And that, I think, was the last straw that broke his heart open. See, when we give lavishly to people who are so guarded, this is when we get through those defenses and soften them and help them believe again in the goodness of people. Now, I know what you're thinking. Mitch, this is a job. What are the pay and benefits, right? We always want to know what the pay and benefits are. You know, the pay part reminds me of the MasterCard commercials some years ago. Some of you might remember it. It would show a scene like maybe a man's going out for a date and he buys some roses and they're $20, right? And so it goes, roses, $20. Dinner, $50. This was a long time ago. We know it'd be more now. Dinner, $50. Show tickets, $70. Kiss at the end of the night, priceless. So this work and this benefit that you get from providing acts of kindness, it's priceless. It actually has been shown to reduce fear, uncertainty, and doubt in your life and the world. It also gives you an expanded sense of joy and well-being. And it gives you a sense of being on purpose. Just think of that. Less fear, uncertainty, and doubt, more joy and well-being and being on purpose. Isn't that price? Put a price tag on that. How much is that? You can't. You know who knows this? Rich people. They know this. They create foundations to give their money away because that's the only other next level they can get to have an embodiment of well-being and a sense of expansion. The stuff doesn't do it after a while. And it's a rich part of leading a rich life are these acts of kindness and lavish acts of kindness that we can commit. There's also benefits. So you actually increase your oxytocin, which is the love chemical. Who wants more love? Yes, we like that feeling, right? Commit an act of kindness, and the person you're helping, also their oxytocin increases. But get this, whoever witnesses that, their love chemical. How'd you feel, that story? Did it make your heart feel warm? Did it expand you? Yeah, we all got a little shot of the oxytocin, right? It also reduces pain and depression, and it lowers blood pressure. Could you imagine that? You go into the doctor, your blood pressure's high, and the doctor gets out his prescription pad and says, okay, I want you to commit one act of kindness, unconditional kindness a week. Come back in 6 weeks, we'll test again. Wouldn't that be great? We lived in that kind of world. It also alleviates anxiety. So the University of British Columbia did a study, and they took a group of highly anxious people and they surveyed them about their levels of anxiety for different things, relationship, their mood, and all of that. Then they had them commit six acts of unconditional kindness a week for 6 weeks. And they brought them back in. And when they did, they measured them again, and they noticed that their moods had went up significantly. They were much more positive. They had better relationships with their family and friends, and it decreased their social avoidance, right? Because they were highly anxiety. So now they were more likely to go out to be social. Priceless pay and benefits. So who's in? Who wants to be a faith activation worker? We got any? Yes, our yes to the universe. We hear this. That means we get opportunities. Well, you have to apply. So you need to inquire within. See, when we're getting ready to do an act of kindness, we need to inquire within, from where are we coming from? You know, I used to be a saver. Like if I saw a dog on the road, it didn't matter. I was out of my car. It didn't matter what was going on. I didn't check with them because I was afraid. I was so caught up in fear and this idea that I was the only one that could save the dog. The dog didn't have no angels or no grace or no like divine plan, right? I was coming from this sense of fear, and I was amplifying more fear in the environment. I actually broke my thumb too, trying to catch one dog. That's not a healthy place to come from when we're helping people, right? We need to go within and say, where am I coming from with this kindness? You know, sometimes we see people who are unhoused on the corner and we go, oh my gosh, poor thing. They're probably thirsty and tired and hungry, and I should give them some money, and gosh, where are they sleeping? So now we're handing them this with poor thing and spending our money on more poor thing, thirsty, and versus handing the money and saying, I know right where you are, God is, and you are on your perfect path to higher ground right now. Here's money. Can you feel the difference in the energy, right? So important we know where we're giving from. And it's so important that we ask ourselves, and when we go within and we ask ourselves, is this ours to do? No. A yes is expansive, right? So if you think of something that you would say yes to, maybe your favorite food or my dessert, vanilla bean ice cream, it feels, oh, do you want vanilla bean ice cream? Yes, like it's expansive. Then we know it's ours to do. If it's a no, then it's muted. It's more like, no, I don't like Rocky Road. No, right? So we listen to that voice within. We go within, we ask, is this ours to do? And if we get a yes, then guess what? You've just been hired to be a faith activation worker here on the planet. So you know the description, you know the qualifications, you know the duties, you know the pay and benefits, priceless. And now we're going to do a little exercise to inquire within what is ours to do. So I'm going to invite you now to just get comfortable as we go into kind of a meditative state and take a collective breath in and just let it out. Another deep cleansing breath in and let it go, let it go, let it go. And just allow your attention to drop down, down, down into your heart, as if you could breathe into your heart space directly. That soft, wise part of our being. And contemplate this question. What is mine to do? What is mine to do? Maybe you have a neighbor that you see never gets any company, and you felt a little pull to go say hi and bring food over. Maybe that's yours to do. Maybe you notice a coworker on the job that nobody ever says hello to. Maybe that's yours to do. Or maybe you have a friend who's a little low on money and you're knowing that their abundance is at hand and you're sending them a little check to amplify that intention. Maybe that's yours to do. Or maybe it's to give to the children's shelter, that fundraiser that's going on right now. Maybe you've been called to donate something or to share something for the support of the children. Whatever it is, just bring it into your consciousness. And as you come back now, come back into the room fully present and awake with your divine assignment. You are hired as a faith activation worker. Now, here's what I want to say about this work. This work happens on God's time, not your time. And I had an experience of this several weeks ago. I was walking towards my car, and this morning I was going to be 5 minutes early to work. Woo woo! Normally I'm riding the line, right in on time or a minute over. But this morning I was going to be early. It's always a great feeling, right? When you're going to be early. And I was walking towards my car, and I saw this young Black man with big baggy jeans, a white t-shirt, dreadlocks, and he had one of those bull's hats with a flat cap like down to here. And he was walking kind of erratically. And I got into my car and he came up to my window and I thought, oh man, I don't have any money. I want to be on time. But I roll down the window and he looks at me and he asks, do you have a cigarette? And I look up into his eyes and I say, I don't smoke. And as I did, I looked in his eyes and I saw right at the edges of his eyes, tears just sitting there. I could tell he was really sad about something. He said, thank you. And then I rolled the window up and I have the devil on this shoulder going, just go to work. And I have the angel over here going, you can't leave him like that. What kind of minister are you going to be? So I get out of the car. I go, hey man, I can't leave you like this. What's going on? He says, oh, my papa just died. He's the one that always got me. He got me. He always had my back. And he's just kind of shaking his head and tears are falling out. And we start walking and talking, and I find out he's from Mississippi. He just got to California. He's trying to find a job. He's living with his girlfriend and, talking about his papa to me and what he meant. About 20 minutes passed, and he's like, oh, I need to go see my girlfriend. And he stands up and he looks at me. And now instead of tears, I'm feeling gratitude just pouring out of his eyes, saying, thank you, man. Thank you, man. And he grabs my hand. We do the man hug, and he's like, thank you so much. And he's just filled with gratitude. And I'm filled with gratitude. And I walk away and I get to work and I'm 20 minutes late. But the best reason I've ever had for being late to work. And who knows? Maybe someday that young man, when he's older, like Neil Ford, maybe he makes a video. And maybe that video talks about, when I was at my lowest point, this man got out of his car and he talked to me. Maybe that video gets 2 million views. I don't know where that act of kindness is going to go. But I do know this. When we keep the faith and we give it away, it changes the world. Namaste. Thank you so much. Blessed be. Thank you. Thank you.
Namaste. And we would invite you to do a prayer with us now.
Absolutely. So let's just go within. Knowing that there is a divine mind, a divine heart, a divine wisdom in and through and as all things in all places in all spaces, working together for the greater good, and that each and every one of us are a piece of that good. We are the hands and the feet and the heart of the divine expressing on the planet right now, right this second. And I'm knowing each of us are moving forward with our divine assignment, and it has a ripple in this body that we call humanity. Each of us a cell, influencing, nourishing, upholding, inspiring each of us. And as we go out upon our week, I know that each of us is divinely held, supported, uplifted, and celebrated. The divine has got each and every one of us. And we have each other. And so I simply give thanks. I give thanks for this beautiful spiritual community, CSL Sacramento. I give thanks for each and every person that has showed up today. I give thanks for the volunteers and for the tithes and for the energy and the divine that is playing through this powerful spiritual community right now. And I simply rest in this word that I have spoken, knowing that it is already done perfectly in the mind of good, in the mind of God. And together we say, and so it is.
And Malcolm X.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
Oh, yes. And it is time now, our offering time. And we are offering 3 opportunities for you to give to your favorite charity, which is us. And you can give through PayPal or Square, and go on our website shown on your screen, or you can mail a check, personal check, to our address as well, shown on the screen. And then we have Amazon Smile, and we appreciate you putting us as your favorite charity, and we get a little interest from that. Thank you. And thank you, YouTube audience, for your donation. God bless you. God bless everybody that donates. Thank you. Thank you. And now, remaining silent, please say with me our abundance affirmation with heartfelt gratitude. Abiding by the law of circulation and in heartfelt gratitude, I affirm that I live in a creative and abundant universe that continuously flows in, through, and out as me, expressing as a ever expanded, infinite good. And so it is. Thank you. And then we have our prayer request. You can go online to our website or remain with us in fellowship. And we have a 5-minute prayer request, if you like, for us to give you, our practitioners or ministers. Thank you, and have a great day. And here's the latest news from our director, our president of the board, Ruth Hall.
Thank you, Margie.
You're welcome.
We have some great news. First of all, we have ongoing things, ongoing events, one of which is Busy Hands, Warm Hearts, that happens on the 2nd and 4th Monday. If you haven't had a chance to check this out, I encourage you to do so. Reverend Patricia is hosting this wonderful event where you can come and bring your crafts, or you can come and see what other people are doing for their crafts, spend a morning on her beautiful porch, and enjoy the fellowship. So if you haven't checked it out, do so. Give Reverend Patricia a call. She'll give you the address, and you can come join in this wonderful ongoing event. We have a lot of events that are coming up, and I encourage you to keep an eye out on our website. We are going to be planning some new and different things. We're going to have an animal blessing in October, so keep your eye out for that information, as well as we're going to have live musicians at one of our upcoming services. We're going to stream from their home. True Wind Music, which is Bev and Greg, they've invited us to have our Zoom Sunday service from their living room. So that's going to be exciting. So keep an eye out for that. In November and December, we're going to have some more outreach events. We're going to have some new classes. And I'm hearing some whispers about a holiday potluck and auction in a mansion. Can you imagine? It's going to be exciting. So keep an eye out on YouTube, on Facebook, on our website. And thank you again for those of you who are donating to Sacramento CSL. If you're watching YouTube, that's what keeps us going in this medium. We really appreciate it. Speaking of donations, if you haven't noticed, we have two ways on our website, not only PayPal, but also Square. And if you have any trouble with using that online way of donating, just let me know. I'll help you out privately through Zoom, and we can get you set up with that. So thank you again for your donations.
That believing is seeing, right? Today I am committed to stand beyond the news headlines for the good that exists in all people, even those I passionately disagree with. And so it is. Thank you. And now for our benediction. Ah, yes, just letting the wonderful morning and the message and just melt in this morning and take it with you all week. And knowing that there is a power that's so beautiful and higher and stronger and loving than anything. That's the power that surrounds our universe and our globe and each one of us, in love and honesty and heartfelt feelings and all that's God and all that's good. And as I know this of God, our divine presence, I know it's within me and with each one here on Zoom, and it's within everyone that is not here, for we're all one and the same. And as I know this, I bless our service today. I give thanks to Mitch for being our speaker and all that he brings and his stories and his love especially. And thanks for everyone here today and for Ruth and all the members. And we love everybody. Thank you. And we pray you up. Call us for prayer. Thank you and God bless. And so it is.
By side, side by side, side by side, side by side. We get there side by side. No one heals the world on their own, the world on their own, the world on their own. No one heals the world on their own. We're healing side by side, side by side, side by side, side by side. We're healing side by side. No one does the work on their own, the work on their own, the work on their own. No one does the work on their own. We're working side by side, side by side, side by side, side by side. We're working side by side, side by side. Side by side, side by side. We're healing side by side, side by side.